Hey, everyone. So, Ray, how are you? Hope everybody's doing all right. Hey, so I don't know if you guys saw the message on a bulletin board or Discord, but I just don't have a super long time. Otherwise, I probably would have done a different live stream. I have about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. Raw is not bad. Well, it depends on what type of raw you're referring to. I don't know if Rebel's really referring to that kind of raw. I have a feeling they're trying to make a certain type of joke, also. I think. Maybe that's just where my head is going. I don't know. Anywho, if you do disagree with the background prompt, you can't come up. Like I said, guys, it's going to be a live that's on a shorter end. But let's have somebody come on up here. Give me 1 second. Let me fix the audio here. Give me 2 seconds.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Hey, good. Just what's going on?
I'm just
What's
reading
going on?
your latest prompt. Seed oil, artificial sweeteners, and soy aren't bad, but
Mm-hmm.
looks like you think raw milk is.
Yeah.
When I'm in the supermarket, if I see, let's say Haagen-Dazs ice cream has like 5 ingredients, and
Mm-hmm.
Ben and Jerry's has like 10 or 15,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a lot of products that even say like milk, contains milk products, and it's
Mm-hmm.
made of Carrageenan, and which, in your opinion, is probably the best product to pick. I don't even like to call food a product. Which ice cream
Yeah.
is the best ice cream to pick?
Well, flavor-wise, I love Haagen-Dazs. I think Haagen-Dazs is by far the best ice cream, personally, but that's very subjective. What's up, Snitch? However, though, if you're talking about health-wise, I'm not going to base it off of the number of ingredients that are in a product.
Uh,
So
Actually, I think Ben and Jerry's tastes better, and Haagen-Dazs,
well, we can argue
I
about that
feel,
all day, I suppose, but
but I feel like Haagen-Dazs is the most Haagen-Dazs is the most bland, but I kind of feel like it's the most healthiest. But I would say Ben and Jerry's taste better. I'm jumping on the Ben and Jerry's most of the time.
that's
I'm
fine.
jumping
If
on the
you're into that,
Haagen-Dazs though.
that's fine. But however, we're talking about like the health effects of these things, right? Because we can argue about the subjective flavor of it. However, though, I would imagine Haagen-Dazs per serving has less calories, just because it tends to have like Ben and Jerry's tends to have a lot of stuff in it. You know, it's never just like regular old ice cream. I would imagine on a per serving basis, Ben and Jerry's probably has more calories, and probably more sugar, probably a little more fat and stuff like that. So, assuming that's true, I would have to say Haagen-Dazs would be better, but I would have to compare it on a per serving basis. But it wouldn't be based off of the number of ingredients.
Right.
Yes,
But
Snitch, you can come up. I don't know what happened. Snitch, read a request. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
but they're seemingly is like a health epidemic in this country, and a ton of influencers are attributing it to corn syrup. You know, a lot of the crap in our food. How could you be so certain that all these artificial
Could I
sweeteners
help out?
Yeah,
are not bad for you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's have scientific snitch go ahead because she's really knowledgeable on some of these things. Good.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to mention that you have to break down what you're talking about into individual parts. So carrageenan is just soluble fiber found in seaweed. It's actually very beneficial for your gut microbiome because it is soluble fiber and it feeds the good bacteria. As far as like corn syrup goes, it's mainly like depending on if it's high fructose or not high fructose. Most of the time, it's not high fructose anymore because of all of the lobbying against high fructose corn syrup. So most of it is just glucose. Glucose molecules are made by your body to feed your brain. Um, when it's not in excess, it's not bad for you. Same thing goes for carrageenan and pretty much every other ingredient out there. You have to like narrow things down by a dose makes the poison. So if you're consuming way too many calories, which approximately Americans consume on average around 3,000 calories, which is 1,000 calories over the recommended daily intake of 2,000 calories. The amount a lot of Americans tend to ignore restrictions on added sugar and saturated fat. So you're already over consuming the things that are recommended to be limited. So on average, the American diet is not in alignment with previous nutritional guidelines. And even if you want to take the really crappy ones that RS Patreon just put out, they're still not being followed. So regardless of what you want to talk about in regards to food quality, because Americans have some of the highest food quality compared to other countries, you really have to look at the dose in which they're consuming it as well as the actual chemical that's going into it. Because if I told you that soluble fiber is the same thing as carrageenan, I bet you that you would not be as scared of the word carrageenan.
Yeah.
Wait,
Your thing
carabine or
is a
carrageenan?
little muted, by the way, or a little muffled, by the way, Snatch, just ever so slightly. But go ahead, guest Jets.
Something that I think about though, regarding your comment, and that's often mentioned on different videos and so forth when you're trying to find information, is that taken on an individual level, um, some of these things might not be bad for you, but it's a concentrated amount when you're having multiple products of these food products, the concentration starts to affect your health
So
because
no, it's not a concentrated amount. It's usually the fourth or fifth ingredient on the nutrition label. So the nutrition label goes in order from most to least. And the reason why there's not a lot of carrageenan in a lot of those food products is because it's technically considered a thickener as well as preservative. So you don't need a lot of it to have an effect. And if there was a lot of it, trust me, you would know because carrageenan has a jelly-like texture as a soluble fiber. And if you overconsumed that, you would have not the best digestion ever. And the
Yeah,
amount that's
probably
in
not.
your food is so little that you can't even see that it's actually like solidifying your food to the extent that it would. It's a lot like psyllium husk, if you've ever heard of that.
right. But
Keep tapping and sharing, guys. We're looking for opposition. If you disagree with the background prompt, come on up. Go ahead, guest.
if you're having multiple products every week, even if in and of itself they have small concentrations of these chemicals, the question is week after week, month after month, year after year, are you adversely affecting your health?
No, because it's recommended that you consume at least 24 grams of fiber per 2,000 calories, or sorry, 28 grams of fiber per 2,000 calories, or 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. Carrageenan is a soluble fiber. It's beneficial for your gut microbiome. It's beneficial for digestion.
Are you talking about?
So
Wait, are you talking about carrageen?
carrageenan, that's how you pronounce it.
Carrageenan. Okay.
It's just a soluble fiber found in seaweed.
Right.
You're recommended to consume soluble fibers, specifically found in vegetables like seaweed. So you are recommended to consume these things. It's not something that you're not supposed to consume. Even if we're talking about aspartame, you're looking at 100 times less than what would actually unalive you. So you would have to be consuming 18 cans of diet soda daily to even be remotely affected by the aspartame or the sucralose. And in fact, according to the very recent sweet study from 2025, artificial sweeteners have been found to positively benefit the gut microbiome. And this is likely due to the fact that you're reducing the amount of added sugar that you're consuming, which is not recommended. So, ideally, if you're looking at substitutes for things like added sugar and saturated fats, you're looking at a net positive, not a net negative.
But what about like products like aluminum phosphate, which are my fish sticks, and xanthan gum,
Yeah, so
and
xanthan gum is
and
also technically what you would consider, I believe it's not a fiber, but it also has gelatinizing properties and is used in 100,000 times less than what it would actually be required to have a negative health effect. Same thing goes for aluminum phosphate. I would argue that your herbal supplements like ashwagandha supplements and all of these stupid health fads that are pushed by supplement influencers have probably 10 times the amount of aluminum, arsenic, and all of these like various metals that are not considered to be the most healthy when compared to the amount of preservative that your aluminum phosphate has in your fish sticks, namely because it's more concentrated in soils in which ashwagandha and other herbal supplements are grown in, whereas these specific food products like fish sticks have a very, very small amount, just enough to preserve the food.
right. But
Hey,
then my
hold on, just one
my
second, guys. We can get to a new guest in at not like at 10,000 likes. Brian, I see in the request box. We can get to you, guys. If you want to tap quicker to get to you, I guess we can. 10,000 likes. Go ahead, man.
but the fish sticks have canola oil and soybean
Oh,
oil. But
canola
then
oil is extremely healthy for you. I don't know what you're talking about. It contains significantly more essential fatty acids than olive oil. Your body can synthesize oleic acid, which is the predominant fatty acid found in olive oil. Your body cannot synthesize omega 6 and omega 3 fatty acids because our bodies lack the desaturases that plants have.
what
The
about the
common
diamond
the
monotrate in my Oreo cookies?
But hold on. The common misconception with some of these things is like you mentioned fish sticks, for example, right? I don't think anybody would disagree that having a lot of fish sticks is probably not the best for you, but it has nothing to do with the specific ingredients that you're mentioning. It's just the fact that fish sticks, you can get a lot of calories in a small amount of time. They're very easy to overeat, and you're likely to just get, again, a lot of calories that's probably going to put you in a caloric surplus for the day.
Well,
Um,
you know, I bought
Also,
it.
so
wait,
that's probably more so the
also,
issue.
I bought it because it was advertised as wild
wait,
papaya.
also,
But
wait, wait,
then
also,
I noticed I didn't feel so hot
wait,
afterwards.
sir.
I got
I just wanted to mention, thiamine is vitamin B1.
Right.
there's that too.
But I noticed that it had a huge amount of salt. It was something like per serving, and
Yeah,
three of them,
processed foods tend to have a lot of sodium. Like that's yeah.
630 milligrams, 27% salt. But you know, I think the problem with with buying processed foods is not that one thing that you get, but when you look at everything in your refrigerator, if you're not attentive to what you purchase, all these things, the chemicals you start to notice you're eating them in a concentrated manner, and I just don't, in my gut instinct is like, this is not
It's
good
not
for you.
concentrated.
It
So the
we've already discussed that.
calculations for the
Yeah.
dose, yeah, the concentration for the doses that are found in your food are like 100 times below the safe limit. What we do is we calculate something called an LD50. Then we go on to calculate, what was it? It's like the least dose amount for the first side effect that you would experience. And then what we do is we divide that by 100 and we use that dosage. So it's 100 times less than the dose required to have the first side effect.
Right, but does that concentration,
It's not, oh my God.
It's not the
even though that
concentration.
You would
one thing
have
that
to
you're eating,
consume,
even though that one thing that you're eating has 1/100th that amount that's considered dangerous,
you consume
what, what
100
you're what
times
you're what
the
you're what you're
recommended
saying, what you're
serving
arguing
size.
against, what
It,
you're arguing is that that concentration, even if you eat 50 or 75 food products
that's not what
that
she's
have
saying.
that same concentration, you're saying the concentration doesn't increase. It
That's not what
stays the
she's
Okay,
same.
saying.
so again, you would have to, do you eat 100 times the recommended serving size of fish sticks?
Um, I'm I'm really
It's a
talking
yes or
not in
no
terms of,
question.
I'm not talking in terms of one meal. I'm talking in terms of 2, 3 months,
Do you
four
eat
months, six
100,
months.
do you eat 100 servings of food per day?
I'm
Oh,
talking
hold on,
about
I want to address the comments real quickly. Someone says if you're using the LD50, involving food, that's a problem. Water has an LD50.
It's not the, well, it's
Water
not
has an
using the
LD50.
LD50.
Well, I
You
know,
use
but
the
like,
LD50 to find the other
talk
dose.
about yeah. Everything has an LD50, by the way. Everything. So let's not misconstrue those two things. Go ahead,
I'm
whoever
talking about
was going.
eating these things over a period of time, not one serving. I'm talking.
It doesn't build up over time. That's why we use the dose that is responsible for the first side effect over a long period of time. So we
Well,
expose
you know,
rats, mice, or whatnot to a very, very low dose that causes the first side effect to occur. And then we divide that dose by 100. So unless you're eating 100 servings of processed food per day, which I highly doubt you are, then there is no way you're overdosing on these compounds.
well, you know, a friend of mine was suffering from migraines and the such, and his doctor told him that it's because you're eating sushi and the concentration of mercury over the last 2-3 years has increased in your bloodstream. So how come mercury and things of that nature could
Mercury isn't
accumulate
a
even if
food
one
process.
serving of sushi, one serving of
Mercury
sushi is
isn't a
not
food
harmful,
additive.
but
Mercury isn't a food additive. It's naturally occurring.
say that again?
Mer- Mercury is not
Mercury
a
is
food
not a
additive.
food additive. It's naturally occurring.
I understand that, but with the you know, if you have sushi on occasion, they say, oh, it's good for you. But don't have it too much, especially if you're a pregnant mom. So although it's not
Right.
an edible, although it's not meant to be an additive for food,
It's not an
but
additive, once again. I,
right, but
I
the
get what you're trying to say, but
concentration
it's
over
more. I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say.
the
But
concentration over time could be very bad for you. But your guest is saying that concentration risk is not really.
So
that's not
I
what she.
I don't know if I agree with
some
that.
chemicals accumulate over time. Some chemicals do not. Things like aspartame, which are excreted, do not
Depends on
accumulate
half
over
life.
time.
Yeah, it depends on the half
Yeah.
life.
So as I said, we test rats, mice based off of the half life of the chemical in the body to find the least amount of dose to cause the first side effect, and then we divide that dose by 100 to get what we add into our food. So again, mercury is not a food additive, it's naturally occurring. So that's completely aside from your point. But the second point here is that, sorry, I'm at the gym.
You're okay.
The second point here is that, like, you're not even talking about something that is the same as these other chemicals, which are literally just excreted because your body can't digest it.
Corey, you did
Okay, I
get the
hear
wrong
you.
country, by the way. Your joke aside, Corey, you did get the wrong country. Go ahead, Just.
I hear what the host is saying. I think that I'm going to go with my gut instinct, and I'm going to stick with as minimally processed
We're
foods
not
So,
that have as
we're not
few
arguing
ingredients as
against,
possible.
but I want to make it very clear. Snitch and myself, we're not saying that you should go out of your way to have processed foods or anything like that. We're talking about what makes those foods problematic and what does not. Right? You're saying that it's these specific things. We're not saying that you should have processed foods and lots of it.
No, I
At least I
understand.
don't. At
I
least
think
she's.
that
I doubt she's saying that.
I think the food industry
no,
tries
I'm
to
not
lull
saying that
us.
at all.
I think the food
So, I
industry
need you
tries
to
to lull us in a
understand.
sense of like security, like, you know, hey, you can have a little bit
Oh,
of this.
God.
It's not going to kill you.
I know,
But I
but
think in reality, people are
So,
having large
you're
we
fear
concentrations
mongering.
we
of
You're
these
fear
we
things.
mongering. You're fear
we,
mongering. And
yeah. Good.
so, okay, you're fear mongering, first of all. You're fear mongering foods that have been well tested and understood at the doses they found in our food, as well as doses that are 100 times less than than the dose that would cause problems, first of all. Second of all, consistently, you fear monger foods that are actually recommended for consumption because they do have health benefits like carrageenan, canola oil, and soybean oil, which all contain either essential fatty acids or soluble fiber, which can help you with digestion as well as other things. So, regardless of what you want to say, you're not just going with your gut, you're going with misinformation that has been peddled online. You're not listening to the evidence, and you don't care to actually follow what is backed by science. So,
Well, you don't seem to be
you're
looking
just
at the state of the
arguing,
health in the USA,
yes,
She
because
we
people overconsume
and
food.
you're
Because
saying
people overconsume food.
your argument is, well, we've done the research on
Greg,
these
you
things, and
Greg,
you know,
yes.
and I'm not
Hold,
no,
saying that there's a
just Greg,
diabetic.
hold on, just hold
Greg,
on. What's
Okay,
up,
so
Snitch? And then Brian, you can go in a second.
Americans consume over 1,000 calories above what they're recommended, what they're supposed to consume. They don't consume enough fiber. They consume significantly less servings of vegetables and fruits than what is recommended. They don't participate in physical activity, or at least most of them don't. Except for the people in my gym right now. Um, but you're looking at a population that does not follow the recommendations for maintaining the minimal requirements for health. So
Well,
you're
you know,
ignoring
when I
that,
see
and then you're
videos,
fear-mongering small
when I see
ingredients.
videos from like, you could see plenty of videos from like 30, 40, 50 years ago of people walking down the street,
We
crowds of people walking down
I'm
the
living
street.
we
to the ripe age
You
of
don't
30.
see
she's already
you
discussed
don't
that.
see
Just we
obesity.
Oh my God, just you're not listening to her. We understand there's higher rates of obesity. She has never said otherwise. We understand that. She already said that's. She already said the reason how Americans consume about 1,000 calories above what they should be consuming. No, duh, there are high rates of obesity. We understand that, okay? And we're not saying America is the healthiest country. We understand there are issues with the health of Americans. We are just disagreeing. You and I, Snitch and I and you, are disagreeing with what is causing these health issues. That's the thing. You think it's these very specific chemicals, and we're talking about the large
I
picture
think
of
it's
things.
human
And
beings.
I
I
do
think
want
It should also
I want
should
Brian to
also
go
be
ahead though.
mentioned that
Hold on,
I,
hold on. I
I,
do
I
want
just
Brian.
wanted to say,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, Snitch, and then Brian, go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing. People around people in like the early 1900s died at the ripe age of 30 because they lacked antibiotics.
Yes.
okay, well
Brian,
that's
what's up?
nonsense because you can
Hold on,
look
just
at
hold on. We'll discuss that. Brian, go ahead. New guest
Sorry,
again.
guys. I have much more. Hello. I've never listened here before, so I could be having this all completely wrong. Um, I'm not a total, if you're looking for pure opposition, you're probably not going to like me, but I definitely, I'm consuming an artificial sweetener right now in my pre-workout. My point was more so about, I live in the Southeast, and there is a ton of deforestation occurring right now due to soybeans. And I know that's more of a human operator error than it is with other things. And we're having some serious soil issues from the lack of rotation of soybean and soybean adjacent types of farming. And I guess also just artificial sweeteners in general just really do. I'd like to see something done about, I guess, the regulation of the foods that artificial sweeteners are added into, because it really does seem to enable the poor lifestyle choices, which again are human choices that need to be made. But artificial sweeteners in and of themselves, I don't think are terrible. I've read the aspartame studies. You would die of water
Yeah,
toxicity before you ever died of aspartame.
for sure.
But it really does seem to enable just the sloth and gluttony, I guess, type of American diet that we've come to see. So I think they're bad in terms of the way that they're being
Okay, I see what you're saying.
targeted toward people,
I,
but not just as a substance. I mean, you have
yeah,
people drinking raw milk,
Okay.
but they're taking
yeah,
steroids and taking peptides that have
for
far
sure.
less studies done. So
We
it's
got
kind
you.
of a catch-22.
All right, Snitch, I know you're done to
Um,
respond to that.
okay. So first point, soybeans. Most of those soybeans and grains are going towards feeding animals for meat,
Yep,
etc.
totally.
And that's why I predominantly consume a plant-based diet because that is better for the environment overall. I'm not vegan fully because I have celiac disease, and if I were vegan fully, I would be 50 pounds lighter and probably vitamin B12 deficient because I can't consume most vegan foods and vegan alternatives.
You
And I
there,
have a
Snitch?
disease that
You
makes
you
me
cut out.
basically allergic. So there's that. But that being said, oh, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
Can you hear me well?
You're good.
Okay, so I'm not sure how much of the first part you heard, but basically, soybeans are mainly for animal products. Animal. So I
Cutting out again.
followed the 2020-2025 dietary guidelines, which were to consume a predominantly plant-based diet that's high in fiber, has maybe like one or two servings, but is limited in animal products. So that's the first part. The second part for artificial sweeteners, they do not promote gluttony and sloth. In fact, they do the very opposite. Individuals consuming artificially sweetened beverages have been known to lose equal to or more weight than those consuming water with their diet. And so this is based off of a 1 to 2 year long clinical trial, as well as another recent clinical trial. So I would say that artificial sweeteners are actually promoting of weight loss, not non-promoting or promoting of like the alternative.
Can I ask
Additionally,
you who
individuals
funded
who
that
grow
study?
up on soda, uh, it doesn't really matter. The data was reputable. The statistics were perfectly fine. I didn't have a problem with how it was conducted. So if you want, I could go through the specific methodology of the study and walk you through
Well,
why
it's a
that study
billion
is
dollar
reputable.
industry. So if like the
So it
sugar
doesn't
industry,
matter. So
well,
it
to you
doesn't
it doesn't
matter
matter,
how
but
it's
to me it
no,
Be-
because
does.
I'm a
but no, but just
scientist, so
these
I
are
actually
conspiracy
understand
theories,
how these things
right?
work.
Right. So
Yeah,
just you're
so
just
I
about
actually understand how these studies work.
if just if you're insinuating it's a conspiracy theory and they got paid off to provide like false data or something, somebody who has like a baseline knowledge on like data and research, they can look at the research and look at like, oh shit, that's not at all what the conclusion said. So
Well,
like,
you know,
what I'm trying to say is, if you're
in
insinuating they were paid off, you can literally just look at the data and
in
come
the
to that conclusion
'60s.
instead of spewing a conspiracy theory. That's what you're doing right now.
Also,
Well,
I'd like to mention that these studies, I'd like to mention that these studies, in order for them to be published in a journal, which they are published in a journal, they have to undergo peer review by other scientists where they critically look at the entire cohort of data that they have to evaluate whether or not it was falsified or not. And if they do catch it, that article gets retracted. The scientists get basically ostracized from the community. And it's not a very good look on the scientists because you're not supposed to falsify data. So that's why we have the peer review process. Additionally, it just would quite literally be going against the understandings
I don't know
of
how you could be
how
so
artificial
confident.
sweeteners actually have a physiological effect on the body, and other studies not conducted by any kind of industry funding have also demonstrated this effect, that
Yes.
artificial sweeteners do not affect blood sugar, they do promote weight loss, and they don't have a negative impact on cardiometabolic outcomes. And this is based off of meta-analyses of data that is not only not funded by industry, but funded by academia, which is quite literally the opposite of industry science.
You know, in the '60s and the '50s, we literally had
You
Do you
didn't
know
hear a
what
single word she
academia?
said.
Do you know what
we
academic
literally
science?
we
Just, you didn't
literally
hear
Did
a
you even hear
single
a
word
single
she
word I
said.
said?
Just, you didn't
we
hear a single
literally
word she said because you're just repeating what
I
you were
listened to
about to
everything
repeat
she
5 minutes
said.
ago.
I
I
listened
know,
to
but
every
you're stuck on this idea that they're all paid off. You're stuck on this idea and you
in
can't let it go.
the
So there's two sectors of science. Jay, there's two sectors of science. There's academic science, and then there's industry science. The science that I'm talking about right now is academic science, which is not paid off by any corporation. It is funding that is distributed by scientists, allotted to different research groups by scientists, and it has nothing to do with
so the
industry funding.
Rockefeller Medical
Yes, so
the
Rockefeller
Rockefeller
and gas
Medical
industry funding.
Foundation has nothing to
Yes,
do with industry. Okay.
J. Industry funding from Rockefeller, specifically gas related industries, fossil fuel related industries, pharmaceutical related industries. That is industry science, not academic science.
The tobacco industry literally had
Holy shit.
plenty of
Just, you're not
Academic
listening to
science
her.
is
Just,
what
you're
listen.
not listening to her.
No,
Listen.
academic
Repeat what she
science
just
is
said.
what called out. Academic science is what called out the tobacco industry. You
What
freaking idiot.
So just repeat what she just said because I don't think you're listening.
she's totally ignorant, and she
Repeat
acts
what
so,
she
like she's
said.
so
Repeat what
smart.
she said, though.
I'm going to repeat what she just said in 2 seconds, but I
I
can't
don't.
help
You
but
weren't
think that the
listening,
tobacco
Just, you're not
lawsuits
So
listening.
and
academic science.
Yes, you're
So
not listening.
academic
she's so
science.
naive and
Oh my
so stupid
god.
that she thinks that corporate funded study. She doesn't know that the medical
Jay.
system is funded by
Jay.
Pfizer.
You literally didn't
She
hear a
called
single
me
word she
stupid.
said. She already addressed
Jay.
that.
I'm sorry, but
Jay.
she's as dumb as a doornail. She
Doug.
You're
thinks that
not
she's
listening
smart.
to
Doug,
her,
can you
Just.
please?
Just
Doug, I can't
get back
Yeah.
on
I
your
can't
treadmill,
speak over
Anna.
him. Okay, so I can't speak over you right now because I'm trying to walk to class. But what I'm trying to say here is,
You're spewing
oh my
ignorance.
goodness, please, thank you. So academic science is what called out the industry, like the corrupted science going on in industry back during the times of like the tobacco industry lobbying for specific research articles and stuff like that. Guess who called them out? Academics. So you're bashing a field that found the exact same result as industry that called out industry when they were being corrupted. Do you realize how fucking stupid you sound?
Now you can respond.
Literally walk through New York City where I live and see all the medical
Oh my god,
buildings funded by private industry.
Just, are you
You're
reading a
telling me that
script?
I sound stupid?
Just, are you reading a script? Because it doesn't seem like you're able to deviate from like what you're saying at all. Like you're about to say something, she talks over you to say what she needs to say, and then you just keep saying what you're saying without any without any response to what she said at all. You're just not listening to her.
But you're the ones that are
But you're not
listening.
listening. But just
over me. What are you talking
but
about?
just you're not listening to her because every point that you have brought up, she has addressed. She's already addressed it. It's almost like you just want to come up here and say what you want to say without taking into account what she's saying.
Without academic science, we wouldn't have solved all of the corporate issues going on back then and established the regulations that we have today to prevent corruption in things like the tobacco industry. So without academic scientists, we wouldn't have warning labels on cigarettes. So you're complaining about academia finding that artificial sweeteners have no negative side effects and improve weight loss outcomes and cardiometabolic outcomes when they're the ones who advocated for health when the tobacco industry was lobbying everyone. So you literally sound like a robotic conspiracy theorist who has their head so far up wherever you have it that you refuse to listen to any kind of data.
Keep tapping and sharing, guys. We are looking for opposition. Brian, do you want to say anything? I know you've been quiet for a little bit. You want to say anything, Brian?
No, I think that I'm not the kind of opposition you're looking for in this live. I was really talking about the soil issues, but that's a whole different topic when it comes to soybeans and a lot more.
I do agree with that, by the way.
Yeah, and it's a thing that can happen with corn or any other thing. So I wish you all well, and
thanks, Brian.
I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will see y'all later.
Appreciate it, Brian. Take care, okay? Hey, guys, we are looking for opposition. If you disagree with the background, you can come up, or you can come up too. If you are watching on the tube, you can call on in. Just wait until this opposition guest drops. So, okay.
Hey, host, I just looked up a few statistics for you.
Thanks.
Host,
What do you got?
looked up a few positions for you. 70% of R&D funding in biomedical and all fields comes from the private industry. Your girl is so naive.
Yes, academia is known to be underfunded, but that doesn't mean we don't get shit done.
How naive and fucking retarded can you possibly be?
Nah, there you go, buddy. You just got kicked. You just got kicked, man.
It is
You can't
literally
slur.
independent.
Hey, guys, you can say as much stupid shit as you want up here. That's fine. Just please don't slur. I'm going to have to drop you if you do, all right? You can say plenty of other dumb shit. Just not that. Thank you, Deb. What's up, Corey?
Howdy.
How you been?
Good. I heard the guest talking about like how industry science is like lying to people, and I was literally going to come up and point out how in every example he cited, the internal data within these companies was actually agreeing with academic data that exposed them. They were just like doing marketing campaigns to avoid the whole process there. And so it's so funny because it's not even the science is bad. It's like the companies are just misrepresenting what their data shows, and anybody could have questioned it. And numerous people did within the field of academics as well as in the industry. That's how this stuff got revealed.
Somebody on YouTube, this is probably one of the dumbest comments I've seen. Raw milk isn't bad if you don't get sick. I was like saying smoking cigarettes isn't bad if you don't get heart disease or cancer. Well, like, thanks. Duh.
I would want to mention that raw milk is a cesspool for antibiotic resistance genes, which is literally a world health threat. So good job to whoever commented that.
Walking across an 8-lane highway isn't bad as long as I don't get hit by the car.
Yeah, right. Guys, we are looking for offs again. If you do disagree with the background prompt, do come on up, please. Okay. Just try to provide some evidence. Try not to repeat conspiracy theories. Just have some evidence to back up whatever you're about to say.
Or if they're conspiracy theories, make them fun ones. All right, make them fun. Big pharma conspiracy theories could be so much better if you guys had some imagination. But you guys just
it's the same old
just
ones.
lazy.
Yeah, it's the same old. They get boring after a while.
That raw milk, raw meat guy is very dumb, and I don't like him.
So which one is this again?
Welcome to the club.
What's his name or their name?
Low key, he needs to like learn that continuously trying to insult me and like basically defame me is like suable. Like I could do it if I wanted to at this point, because he's like literally lying about my company, lying about me.
That's shitty.
Well, I'm like really considering talking.
It's like Ty underscore
Because
Willers.
he's made like 10 different videos falsely accusing me of things.
I'll post the name in your Discord, or actually I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah, you can just do it in chat. I just want to look him up. I'm just curious. Just want to see if I've like seen him before. These are all like copy and paste versions of like 100 different influencers. So they're all different variations of the same person. Yeah, so if you believe cereals, artificial sweeteners, and soy are bad and raw milk is not, please do come on up. Ty underscore Will.
Yeah, I responded to him simply talking about like how economic policy and like how we need to, and how like governmental policy is actually addressing the problems of the wellness industry isn't. And his entire response is, I don't know if you're on my side or against me. I'm like, I don't know, man. Pretty certain every single piece of my video is me pointing out why you're wrong. I don't think
this guy looks like a quintessential Gen Zer. Like he has the haircut, like the.
He was trying to argue that he's more jacked than me, but okay, buddy. I probably bench more than what you weigh.
I mean, I see him right now. He looks like he's been lifting maybe like a year, possibly at best. And if he has, it's weird that he has to say that to you, though. Like, yeah, when I do type in his name, though, you do come up, Snitch, multiple times.
He called me out of shape.
Okay, I mean, if that's what makes him feel better.
The Red 40 causes autism study made me laugh out loud when I saw that video, and I'm like,
I don't want to give him any more attention, so I kind of have to just ignore it. But like, I'm very heavily considering going to my lawyer because I actually did not put Red 40 in my pre-workout. It's just a runoff from the manufacturer because they use Red 40 in other products, so they have to include it on the label.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so like, it's not even like I'm putting it in there. I could show you specifically like what I paid for in my pre-workout. And I did not request Red 40 because it's expensive. Adding that in there is just like literally, yeah, it's wasting extra money.
Yeah.
At least for like a small business like myself, it's adding cents to the unit, which adds up pretty quick. So, like, I would not put Red 40 in there simply for the fact that I'm not trying to spend over 25 grand on my pre-workout.
Jeez, yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fair.
That would be a crazy amount.
I mean, at least from my reading of the studies, and again, not a scientist, I try to stay in my lane. Not even the studies, but like the Red 40 scare is also overblown by like the RFK types. My understanding was like a couple of countries in Europe have placed warnings that like a study was at one point produced that like had some possible negative effects with Red 40, but I might be thinking of a different compound or chemical.
Snitch, what's the name of your pre-workout again?
Red 40 is allowed in the EU. Oh, it's, I have lithium and I sold out of xenon, so no longer. Right now it's just lithium. I have like around 200 units left. But I was just wondering for the chat. Like 500 units because like the base price for
I was just wondering for the
everything
chat.
Else is like.
Yeah, Chad, if you're interested in her pre-workout, we can post it. I'm sure you're okay with that. Snatch. Where's the
Yeah,
link to
totally
it?
okay with it. And if you
I'm trying
drink
to
my,
find a
it's
link to it.
in my bio, but if you
Okay, I'll find it there then.
water at 40, it looks like fucking sludge.
Let's find it here. Keep tapping and sharing, everybody. Again, if you disagree with the background, come on up, okay? All right, I'm trying to pull it up right here.
102 people in the audience. We should have way more than 5.4K likes, folks.
Here it is. Okay. All right. Cool.
But yeah, Red 40 is just loosely associated with the whole ADHD thing. There's no mechanistic link. And when you like control for genetics and stuff like that, the association pretty much goes away.
I like that you don't have a crazy amount of caffeine in it. I don't really ever use pre-workouts anymore. I hate it when I see pre-workouts that have like 400 milligrams. Come on, I don't need that much. That's wild.
Yeah, me too. Like, what pre-workout specifically, though? Just so I know to avoid them.
Like basically every Corey, like every single pre-workout I see these days seems to have a shitload. If that's what you need, man, that's fine. I just don't want that. Like, I try to limit my caffeine intake to about 200 milligrams per day. That's what I try to do.
I've been trying to be more
I'm a grad student.
Yeah, well, I get it.
I'm a grad student, so I can't do that.
I understand. Take what you need.
Caffeine and spite.
You don't even want to know how much I consume.
But you're also in your 20s. Like, your heart can still take
it. Are we talking close to a gram?
The rate I'm going?
Are we talking close to a gram?
Potentially.
Oh gosh, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Keep in mind, I'm like 135 pounds.
That makes it even worse. That doesn't help your case.
This just has a lot of nosebleeds. We don't really talk about that, though.
I'm not even drinking coffee. I'm not getting caffeine addiction from pre-workout. I get it.
My heart is so happy it's skipping beats.
Oh, you got L-tyrosine in there. That's good. Does some pre-workouts? Isn't there a different version of L-tyrosine? What's the other one that you need less of, or is that not
there's
really?
L-theanine.
Well, not theanine.
That's not L-tyrosine.
Isn't there? Let me see. But you do have L-tyrosine in
literal
yours.
epinephrine.
You have tyrosine in yours.
Yeah, I've got L-tyrosine.
Yeah. But there's a different. Let me see. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else. You don't have theanine in yours, do you?
No, I don't. I have ornithine and extended release caffeine as my way to manage the caffeine crash.
Oh, all right. Oh, it's N-acetyl L-tyrosine. I guess it's just more bioavailable. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not that big of a difference. Probably not.
It's not more bioavailable. People like to make it out to be. But what I was going to say is the pre-workout that I have, it's got 150 milligrams total per one scoop, and you can take 1 or 2 scoops, and that's my sales pitch for today.
Yeah, I can see how the extended release caffeine would help with the crash.
There's actually some pretty interesting data on it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had extended release caffeine, at least knowingly. Yeah, I'd be interested in trying that. Cool. All right, guys, I have like an hour left before I have to head back to the gym, so my caffeine should
have to go.
show up in lab results.
I've got to go full office hours. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Ciao.
All right, great seeing you. Take care, all right? Yeah, all right. And then there was one. Okay. Keep tapping and sharing, guys. I am looking for people that disagree with the background. If you're watching on the tube, I don't know if the phone number has been posted recently. If not, I can put it into the chat. In the meantime, I could address some of the YouTube comments because there's always a bunch of silly ones. Hey, I'm seeing smarter people today. There we go. This person says artificial does not automate or does not equate to being bad. I agree. It's good to see that comment in the pre-work in the chat. Normally, I see stupid things. What else do we got? Yeah, I mean, my pre-workout is just like a Celsius or something. That's about it. I haven't had like an actual pre-workout in a long time. Not that I'm against it. I just never felt like buying one recently. You have 3 different ones? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I have 3 on top of my fridge right now. One's a no stim that I take that I drink along with my workout just to like keep me going a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones are caffeinated. Because if I don't feel like my skin is ripping off my body, is it really pre-workout, Doug?
No. I was around. Were you working out at the time the original like Jacked workout came out? You remember that one?
I do, and I cry whenever I think of what we lost.
I know. It was such a good pre-workout. I remember taking it, and it made me feel, oh my God, it was just wild. Like I was very concerned about what was in the pre-workout because it felt very similar to taking Schmetterall. Like, it was very similar. And I'm like, gosh, this is like oddly close.
Oh man, it was. I miss it. I genuinely miss it.
Yeah, those were the days. Yeah, C4, the original C, or is it C3, C4? What's the name of the pre-workout? C4. The original C4 also had that, and it was perfect because I had a summer job where I worked at a camp, and I was outside all day working with kids and stuff like that, and it was extremely exhausting because I was out in the sun all day. And then I would work out afterwards, but the pre-workout, I was dead afterwards. I would take that C4 that had that ingredient in it. Within 10, 15 minutes, I was like perfectly ready to go to the gym, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I miss it.
I remember original Jekyll and Hyde, and that was, it wasn't as good as Jacked, but it was,
Still
back
pretty good.
before regulation and the FDA. It was some good stuff. Or lit pre-workout, which was always nice.
Yeah, I remember that one. I definitely remember that. I gotta scroll back up through the YouTube comments. There were some really stupid ones a while back. Where is it? I can find it. Someone says, "What's the harm in avoiding the artificial stuff?" I mean, listen, you can. I just think it's fear mongering. It's just I don't think it's worth the energy to obsessively avoid some of those things.
What is considered to be artificial? Like, is allulose considered to be an artificial sweetener? Or like
which
stevia?
one is that? Stevia wouldn't be. Stevia
Allulose?
would be. Why do I not know of that one? Stevia is considered natural, though.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What happened? Someone says, "Can you tell me where I can find proof that artificial sweetener is not bad for you?" Yeah, look at the research. But the burden of proof really would be on you, though. If you're going to make a claim something is bad for you, you're going to be the one that has to find proof to show that it is bad for us. But there is plenty of contrary proof that shows long-term it's not bad for us. So you can. I mean, you just have to pull the research. It's boring, though. It's boring and dry. That's why people don't want to look it up. It's not fun to, like, read research papers. It's really dry. So you'd have to be willing to read through, like, literally hours and hours worth of research. And I just don't think that's what your average person wants to do. And I don't blame them. I'm not trying to like talk down. It's just a lot.
No. Oh, great. Okay. Be right back.
Vesh, if you have not found it, then you haven't done even like 10 seconds of research, really. Like it's almost like you're going out of your way to not find it. Because there isn't any long-term research to show that these artificial sweeteners are bad for you when it's good. It's a good conducted study. think moderation is key with seed oils and soy. Um, I would agree, but probably not for the same reasons that you are. At least most likely not. Um, for seed oils, I think yes, you should moderate just for the fact that you're going to be having a lot of calories if you don't. But it's not specifically because it's seed oils. Now the soy, I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to overeat calories by eating soy. But so I mean, sure, but I just don't think that would be an issue for your average person. Considering like soy, things that contain soy are probably a little somewhat filling. You're probably going to get fiber along with whatever soy that you're having, which is going to help fill you up even more. Hey, Amy, how you doing? It's very hard to find things that don't have artificial sweeteners in it. I mean, depends on what type of products you're looking for. Fish oil is good. Yep. They told us cholesterol is bad, but the brain needs cholesterol. Who's they?
Who?
Nobody said that. You guys confuse your. I'm not trying to be mean, but your shitty misinterpretation of the research with what the actual research says. Just because you interpret it that way, that doesn't mean that's what they said.
Yeah, that's not how that works. Like,
but they're misconstruing two things. They're misconstruing, number one, how they perceive what's being said, but two, most of the time, like you'll see like news articles or whatever, they'll like parrot some of these things, but they'll say like new study comes out showing aspartame causes cancer for clicks, right? But then when you look at the actual study, it doesn't actually show at all that it caused cancer, right? But they had to phrase it that way in order to get clicks. So I think a lot of people are confusing that with what the actual research says. So there's no like there's no conflict here. You just never looked into it to begin with, and you just based it off of what a news article says. I don't like the taste of artificial sweeteners either. At least the vast majority of them. I agree. But yeah, nobody ever said that cholesterol is bad. We always understood that there's a difference between HDL and LDL. And we also understand that your brain is one of the things that it's made up of is cholesterol. Nobody disagrees with that. That's a far cry, though, from trying to consume as much cholesterol as possible.
Exactly. And again, it's like you want to reduce it, right? Too much cholesterol is bad for you. And that's most of what people were like. Like, you don't want to have high cholesterol levels.
No.
Which is going to come about as part of a sedentary lifestyle. I mean, because again, like, it's bad to have that stuff build up.
Yeah, we have, all right, great. We have unfortunately, a lot of carnivore zealots now in the comment section of YouTube. They call it wins. They call it wins of this live, and now they're all in here repeating stupid carnivore talking points. I find them to be worse than vegans, personally. Well, if you're comparing both ends of the spectrum, I much prefer a vegan over a hardcore vegan over a hardcore carnivore person.
I'll say it like this: vegans frustrate me when they come into my space or like they decide to try and like preach to me about it. But I've never really met vegans who are like that. They just
not often. It's not often.
Yeah, I rarely have met the quote unquote stereotypical vegan.
Yeah,
but I have met plenty of carnivore people who decide to go into everybody else's space. Like that guy that Snitch and I were talking about, right?
Yeah.
He literally went into a vegan restaurant with raw meat to eat it there as like part of his content. I'm like, no, dude, you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. We live in a world of silly geese.
Well, that's the truth. Did he eat meat? I don't know about that, Aesops. Sounds interesting.
Let's see here.
I'm an unpaid shill. I think that's an oxymoron. I don't think those two words can be put together in that. I don't think that works. I'm an unpaid shill. I think by definition, to be a shill, you have to be paid. What is the best oil / fat? See, I don't like these questions because I think these questions insinuate that there is a singular best one for every person at every point of their life or every point of the day. When that's just not true, and I know I say this often, but context is extremely important when it comes to these things. It's just hard to give a blanket recommendation as a best oil / fat when it just really depends. So it's hard to give you the answer that you're looking for there. However, though, canola oil, for example, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that you just consume tons of it, but that would have a lot of the healthy fats that you do absolutely need in a given day. But once again, it depends on the rest of your diet. How many calories do those items have, if any? Which ones? Which ones were we talking about? Ray, I think we mentioned a few different ones. Do you think there's any that you should avoid? Like as an absolute blanket statement? I mean, not particularly that I can think of. I wouldn't consume anything that has trans fats in it, but those are largely gone these days. You're hard pressed to find anything that has trans fats anymore. But beyond that, I can't really think of a singular one that I would tell you that you must avoid. But again, you have to pay attention to the rest of your diet. Like, for example, like while I don't love butter or like beef tallow is something that people just cook every single food of theirs in, because the carnivore people seem to be obsessed with it. I don't think it's a problem having it. But if you've already had high amounts of saturated fats during the day, I wouldn't recommend that you use butter or beef tallow because you're likely to go over the amount of saturated fats that you do need in a given day. But if you haven't had much, then I think it's probably fine. So it seems associative so far and likely confounded by obesity. Which one's that? What were we talking about there? The cause of action. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at your previous comment. Have you seen some of the longitudinal research published recently on LMCS and cognitive decline? Yeah, I actually did. This was several months ago. I think that study came out, or at least that's when I looked at it. I think it came out about a year ago, something like that. Yeah, I know which one you're referring to.
What was it like? I don't know. I want to say it was like a year ago. Like the wellness space and like the people who talk about products that are like sold on here was going crazy because some dude was trying to sell like a beef tallow bar, and like one of the big fitness reviewer guys like tasted like, this is disgusting. He just completely crapped on it because like it was being marketed as like a high protein sort of deal. It's like, no man, it's high in fat. It is not good for your macros.
Keep tapping and sharing, guys. Again, you can come on up if you want to speak. Does everybody in the tube have the number to call on in? If somebody wants to call on in, let me know if you want the number. I'll post it. Broski, telling me you are fucking low IQ without telling me. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'll tell you. I don't know what comment you're referring to because you have commented numerous times. So. The standards are the same. Unfortunately, you are just less intelligent than you think you are. I don't really think I'm particularly intelligent. So I don't know.
Speaking of not knowing anything, I'm blanking on this thing now. What's that? Shoot. It's a type of protein, but it's actually more meant for like hair and nails. At least that's what like people have looked at it for. I'm blanking. It starts with a C.
Oh gosh. I can't think of it. Collagen.
I think it's collagen. Thank you. I don't know why I was thinking cellulose. I'm like, that's definitely not it.
Not cellulose. Close, but no. Oh, you're not talking to me. Sorry, Ralph. Yeah, I apologize. Sorry, guys. It's if you don't tag who you're speaking to, not that you have to. I don't really give a shit. I probably assume you're speaking to me, so I apologize if there was a friendly fire there. Sometimes that happens. Don't sue me. Ralph is just a knob. All right. I'm going to post a number in the tube because I would love to talk to somebody. You guys seem very opinionated on things, so like it would just be good if you just came on up. All right, where's my number? I should probably have my number memorized by now, but I don't. And guys, I'm talking about my Google number, not my actual number. Obviously, I have my actual number memorized before somebody says something. Because I know somebody's going to say, how do you not know your phone number? Yes, I don't have my Google Voice number memorized. I don't like you because he's not wearing the yellow. Well, Kylie, sorry, Kylie. I mean, you guys really want, I could pull it out, but I don't think it's clean. Not that it's super worn, but I don't think it's fresh out of the laundry is what I'm trying to say. All right, Ked, you can come on up.
Oh, God.
Hi,
Okay,
Ked.
I'll mute myself. I'll shut up.
That's all right. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Soy
How
is
you doing
bad
today?
for you.
Okay, in which way?
And there's plenty of studies that show that it damages your sperm.
Okay, can you show some of that research?
Sure. NIH.gov, good for you.
Yeah, that's great.
How
So
about
what?
like MDPI.com?
Yeah,
That
if
study?
if you can just give me like the title of the study or like the PMID or
Human
something like that.
observational lower sperm concentration.
Hold on, human observation lowers sperm concentration.
You know what I'll do? I'll even copy and paste it for your chat.
That's fine. Let me pull this up. It's just called human observation lower sperm concentration.
It's right there.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I'll look up the via the ID because that's the best way of doing it. Give me 2 seconds to pull. Well, a little more than 2 seconds. Anyways, what does it say specifically?
I have 3 others for you if you want.
That's fine. No. Let's just take it one at a time. So is it 2721 724? So what does the data show before I pull it up? Like specifically the numbers.
Shows that it lowers your sperm count.
Okay, but like from what to what?
Damages your sperm. Well, I mean, you haven't looked at it, so.
Well, that's why I was asking you. I was just okay, but it's coming up right now.
I'll do look it over.
Okay, and this is like a human randomized controlled trial.
Also alters hormones too. I have another one for you if you want that.
Okay, so just before I pull it up, this is a human randomized controlled trial where they controlled for confounding variables, or was it like a cohort study or something?
There's another one where it damages your hormones.
Ked, I'm asking you a question. Is this a human randomized controlled trial where they control for confounding variables, or is this like a cohort study?
Why don't you tell me? You're looking at it.
I'm asking you before we look at it.
Well, what I think is irrelevant. You're saying that does no harm. This clearly proves that it does.
But that's why I'm asking you, because not all studies are created equal. Do you know what a randomized controlled trial is?
Do you know what the NIH is?
Yes. Do you know what a randomized controlled trial is? And if you don't know, just say you don't know, Ked. It's okay to say you don't know.
Discredit
Ked,
the NIH?
it's okay to say you don't know something. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to minimize what you're trying to say. Ked, do you know what a randomized controlled trial is? If you don't know
yes,
it, it's
I'm aware
okay.
of a randomized controlled trial, man.
Okay, so is this a randomized controlled trial?
No.
Okay. And I'm not saying that just because something's not a randomized controlled trial, that doesn't mean we can't look at it. But since you do know what one is, you obviously know that is the gold standard of research, because that is what aims to control for other variables, while like a cohort study just looks at 2 variables across a period of time. So let's just pull it up.
Great.
Let's look at it. Okay.
Sure. I have 3 others too.
That's fine, Ked. That's fine.
That's fine. Right.
Relax.
Right. Enjoy your soy, Doug.
Okay, so where does this show, the first study, show that that soy directly lowers one's sperm count?
What do you want, a line number, bro? You
I
wanted
do,
the
yes.
study.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
for your educational purposes only.
Okay, so where does it show it in here?
You're hosting a live that literally said that soy is not bad. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So I want you to
fucking 4 studies in front of me that literally.
Okay, so
prove
we're looking at the
otherwise, and you're
first
asking
one.
me for a line
I'd like for
item?
you to show. Yep, I would like for you to show me in this first study where
You're hosting the live. Why don't you put it up on your fucking live back panel, dude?
Okay. So guys, the fact that
Why are you
he's
making
acting
this
like
difficult?
the fact that he's acting like a little kid right now shows that he hasn't
I'm
even
acting
read
like a
the
little
studies.
kid.
He just went down to the conclusion. He probably just looked at the title of the
Doug,
study.
enjoy your soy, bro. Have a great.
Okay. So you didn't provide
Have
research.
a great day, man.
Perfect.
Enjoy your.
Okay. So
Enjoy
you
your
didn't come
soy.
up here to. So you didn't come up here to have an actual conversation. Okay. You know, if I had actual research.
Oh, I did, but you're asking me for line items like a pretentious douche.
All right, great. So I'm just gonna do it for you. I'm just gonna do it for you because I was actually trying to be as nice as possible. This is not a randomized control trial. This is a cohort study that doesn't show at all what you thought it just said. All right, guys, let's read the conclusion. This data suggests that higher intake of soy foods and soy isoflavones is associated with a lower sperm concentration. I am sure there is an association. I'm not asking for an association. I am asking for a cause and effect. I want a human randomized control trial where they have a group of people. They look at their before sperm count, right? This could be easy to research, right? This could be easy to conduct this study. You get a handful of people, whatever, dozen, several dozen, hundreds, doesn't matter. You look at their sperm count. You give them an X amount of soy, right? And you can have different groups where you give them a low amount, a medium amount, a high amount of soy, and you do this for, 8, 10, 12 weeks, months, doesn't matter. And then you look at their afterwards, their after sperm count. That would be a human randomized control trial in which you can look at their before and after. You try to control for as many variables as you can. That could be easy to conduct. This is not that at all. So in all of the studies where they do that, they don't show this. They don't show at all what you are suggesting it says. Okay. So here was the methodology. The intake of 15 soy-based foods in the previous 3 months was assessed for 99 male partners and subfertile couples who presented for semen analysis to the Massachusetts General Hospital Fertility Center. Linear and quantile regression were used to determine the association of soy and isoflavone intake with the semen quality parameters while adjusting for personal characteristics. So these people were already subfertile. So you're giving me a study of couples who are already subfertile.
Also, they didn't account for this, but they also noted in the study that like the people who were also having like fertility issues or the highest levels of fertility issues were also out of shape and like dealing with other obesity and other problems as well. So like it wasn't they didn't factor that in to eliminate that from bias as well.
Also, the inverse relation between soy food intake and sperm concentration were more pronounced in the high end of the distribution and among overweight or obese men. So you're telling me people who are obese have a lower sperm count? No fucking shit. I want to know if this is the case outside of whether one is obese or not. Like, it was a shit study, Ted, whatever the fuck your name is, and you knew it was. Hence why you couldn't and didn't want to answer a single question because you just thought I was going to read the conclusion and just not be smart enough to know what it was actually saying or not saying. Now, you are welcome to come up and provide a human randomized control trial because there are plenty of human randomized control trials looking at these things. So you're welcome to come back up and provide that.
Also, Ken, maybe don't use slurs in the future. Like a big boy.
Also, let me read this too. In conclusion, we found an inverse association between consumption of soy foods and sperm concentration, which were more pronounced at the higher end of the sperm concentration distribution and among overweight or obese men, which I already read. The clinical significance of these findings remains to be determined. So they need to be determined if it was clinically significant or not, for one. Owing to the scarcity of human data in this area, it is very important that this issue is examined further, ideally in randomized trials. Almost like I already fucking said that. Weird how I said what they said before I even looked at it. But this is the problem, though. Like when it comes to like pseudo intellectuals, I'll say pseudo whatever the fuck. Like this comes off, if you don't know much about this, as like something scientific, something based in science, right? Like somebody who doesn't know anything about this, they'll see like, oh God, this guy provided a study and it shows this. That's science. Well, no, again, I think you have to have a proper understanding of research and how it's conducted and the different types of studies and things like that. And having knowledge on that is going to make it more beneficial to you determining if something holds weight or not in relation to the topic we're discussing. So, like, studies aren't binary. It's not like either it says something or it doesn't say something. It's like a spectrum in the sense that, like, sometimes it'll say something, but with a caveat of this, or sometimes it'll say something, but the results aren't very strong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not binary. Anyways, I'm going to post the phone number in the chat again so you guys can call in if you want. Yeah, guys, I hate to repeat this overused saying, but correlation does not equal causation. Like, I really do hate to repeat that because it is so overused at this point. But, like, it's applicable. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Keep tapping and sharing, everybody, please. Artificial sweeteners, they have a tendency to trigger insulin anyway. Well, no. There's really no research suggesting that. So rather stick to no artificial sweeteners. Also, all. So you're making two errors there, or at least one error. Number one, you're assuming that artificial sweeteners trigger an insulin response, which I think you're going to have to provide data for that. And two, you're going to have to show that it causes an equal insulin response in that there's no reason to have artificial sweeteners. I would argue even if they did cause the same insulin response, all else being equal, you'd still be better off having an artificial sweetener considering it has no calories. So if all other things are equal, but one of them has less calories, you still would be better having it. But there's no evidence to show that they do cause the same insulin response. If anything, if it did, it would be a significantly lower insulin response, which again would just prove the point that it's a better alternative than sugar, health-wise at least. No, I agree with you. Was that Bumlet? I mean, no, I think two things can be true. I mean, it's overused, but it is also true, that saying. So I see what you're trying to say. It is said a lot, but I agree, Niners. They do not taste good. Yeah, toxic. He thought he was really gonna really get me with those studies. He really thought he had something there. Artificial sweeteners have been known to cause certain cancers. Like what? Which sort of cancers are you referring to? All right, who do we have here? Oh, we have a guest. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing today?
I was doing all right until I read this bullshit statement up on your screen here.
I know, I hear you, man. I just need to know your age real quick before we move forward with the conversation. Just for
22.
TikTok terms. All right. What's up? So what do you disagree with in the background?
Yeah, seed oils. You know, you can run a car with seed oils, right?
Okay. You know.
Yeah. So
Okay.
why
But
do you think it's a good idea to put that in your body?
You know, window washer fluid is made up of water, partly, right? Why should you put that in your body?
Well, I'm under the belief you shouldn't drink water at all. You should get your hydration from other sources, such as raw meats, fruits.
Isn't that funny how you thought you had me
milk.
with something and now you're just purposely being obtuse because you just realized your talking point was shit?
Well, there's other stuff in Windex besides water, but
no fucking duh.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
great.
things
The
that you
point,
should not consume
Zog,
other than
great.
water.
I love it. Great. So show me specifically why seed oil is bad for you.
Because the human body is not meant to consume seeds. What do you think
Prove
your
it.
ancestors
Show it.
ate? They ate
Show it.
raw meat. They ate
Okay.
raw meat.
Wait,
I'm not concerned with what my ancestors
They did not
did.
eat seeds until
Zog, do you think
the
our ancestors? Do you think our
agricultural revolution.
Do you think our ancestors' primary concern was to optimize their health? Do you think that was their primary concern? That's what they really cared about, trying to be as healthy as possible and trying to optimize their hormones? Or do you think they just wanted to fucking survive?
Well, the way that they optimize their hormones naturally.
Really?
Their body,
do you have data on that?
their body evolved to eat the things that they ate.
Do you have data on that?
Your body not evolved
Optimize
to
hormones
eat fucking car engine fuel. Your body not evolved to eat seeds, unnatural seeds that don't exist in nature.
literally did. Our bodies literally did.
Unnatural
First of all, Zog,
Yeah,
you're
fruit
wrong
seeds,
on the,
not
first of all,
grains,
Zog, we did
not
not
vegetables.
evolve. Hold on, Zog. First and foremost, we did not evolve to eat raw meat. Quite literally, cooking our meat was fundamental to human evolution and brain development. Second of all,
That's not
seeds
true.
are not on. It is true. Like, go
It is
read
not true.
evolution. Go read papers on this, man. They have been like the fact that we were.
This is
able
your
to cook
problem.
Meat.
You
Wait,
believe
us
because
being
something's in
able-
a
us being-
paper, it's
Zog,
true.
Zog, it's literally shown that we were able to have higher protein intake because we cooked meat. But beyond that, Zog, seeds
Talking about
come
who?
from seeds come from what?
Seeds, they come from
Where do they come from?
fruits
Where do
most
they come
of the time.
from? They come from fruits, and
But
plants.
they
right?
can come,
They come
from
from
vegetables.
And would we consider fruits and vegetables to be a part of nature?
The modern fruits and vegetables are not part of nature.
That's not.
They've
what
been
you-
genetically modified.
Great. So you shouldn't have fruits then, right?
You really shouldn't, unless you can somehow get. I would say blackberries. Those are the closest to their natural form, so blackberries are fine. But any other fruits, really, should really stay away from them.
You don't understand how this stuff works. Okay.
Well, no. What influencer did you watch to get this information from? Like,
Do you know who Godis is?
Godis? I do not know who Godis is.
Yeah, he mogs the shit out of you.
Cool. Nice word.
I still don't understand that Gen Z word.
I mean, look at how. All right, look at how you look.
I know. Because
And your
how I
diet.
look. I know. I get it. Because I eat a certain way, that means I look this way, because that's how everything works.
That's why
Sure.
you have so much inflammation around your face.
What's inflammation?
It's your body swelling up.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's most literally not the definition of it. Why do you use words that you don't know what they mean?
Why are you so fat?
Does that answer my question?
I do
Do
know
you
what
guys
it
see?
means.
Do you guys see how pathetic people like this are? They never have an argument for
I do
anything.
know what
Their
inflammation
entire
means.
argument is you look a certain way, therefore you are wrong. That's their entire fucking argument, because they never have a fucking response.
That is the
to
only
anything.
argument you need. That is the way you look is a direct reflection of your diet.
So are you telling me that every single person who is on a carnivore diet looks good?
Well,
so
if
you're
they
telling
cook
me I
their
can't
food, then they're not
hold
going
on,
to.
hold on. So you're telling me I can't find a
but
single carnivore? I can't find a
There's
single
some nuance
single.
to this, by the way.
Oh, so now there's nuance.
Because
Let's now hear the nuance.
if you were to eat raw meat your entire life, you would look good. If you were to eat,
They all look
if you
good.
were-
None of them are unattractive. None of them.
if you were to eat raw meat during development, during your developmental years in puberty, then you would look good.
you have
Pretty much
evidence of
every
that?
single one of them, unless
Do you
you
have
have
evidence
some
of that?
sort of genetic deformity.
So you're telling me being on a carnivore diet makes somebody attractive?
Not a natural diet. Carnivore diet is completely different.
I didn't say natural.
Are
I said
you,
carnivore.
so are you acknowledging that carnivore diets are not natural?
They cook their food,
Again,
and a lot of them
okay,
cook their food. I mean, this
So
carnivore
what's-
diet that could mean so many different
So you're
things.
saying cooking your food is not natural, right?
Yeah, it's not natural.
How long have humans been cooking their food?
Since the agricultural revolution.
Since we were classified as humans, my guy.
Why would your ancestors waste time cooking food from a hunt
You're
To
trolling.
make it
You're,
taste
you're
worse.
trolling. You're
What?
trolling.
To make it
You're
taste
trolling.
worse.
Yeah, you're an
trolling.
idiot. You're an
You're
idiot.
trolling.
Yeah, you don't have an argument, so you got to say I'm trolling. I got it.
No,
Because this is on par with. Wait, what shape is the Earth?
So why is that relevant to the conversation?
What shape is the Earth?
That's not relevant to the conversation.
It's
Oh my
pretty
God,
relevant, my guy.
you're a flat earther, aren't you?
That's
He's a
not
fucking
relevant to the
flat earther.
conversation.
What shape is the Earth?
So
No, I
That
want
is
him to
not
answer the
relevant to
question.
the conversation. Why are you
If
trying
you-
to change
it-
subjects?
We'll go right back to this. I promise. If you just tell me the shape, it's a one-word answer.
I'm not allowing you to change the subject of the conversation.
We're gonna go right back to it. I promise. The fact that you're not responding to this is very telling.
you are not the one in control here.
Do you see chat? You see chat?
But
How
this
there's
is a TikTok live.
There is a
Nobody's in
strong
control
correlation
here.
between people
This is
who
a
believe
screen.
carnivore shit and people who are flat earthers. He's a flat earther. He just doesn't want to admit it because he knows he's going to look fucking stupid, as if he doesn't
So
already.
you don't have an argument, so you got to bring up a whole entire other.
We've
topic.
already given you arguments.
have-
You don't like the arguments.
Well,
Yeah.
my argument is you.
Your
Look at
argument
you.
is a seed oil.
Look
is
at how
used
fat
for,
you are.
Zog, your argument is a seed oil is used for something else, therefore it is bad for humans. That's your fucking stupid argument.
And it's toxic.
Prove
You-
it.
what- have you ever? Okay,
Prove it. Zog,
use
prove
your
it.
logic.
I want research.
Have you? All right.
I want research.
Well, that's your problem. You want research when all the research
It's
is-
paid off by the Jews, right?
it's all biased.
Okay.
It's all biased. You can make you can find research that will say anything you want it to say.
No.
Yes, you can. You can manipulate
No.
research in any way that you want.
So show me research showing that smoking tobacco.
You don't
is
think
good
that
for you?
these large corporations aren't paying scientists to come up with results that will help their business?
That's not how it works. So no.
That is how it works.
No.
You don't think that's possible? Are you being paid? You got to be being paid. Because the only way somebody would poison themselves and look like that is if you're being paid a large amount of money.
Can you show your face?
Unfortunately, I can't turn my camera on. I don't have enough
Show it.
followers.
You can show us what you
I don't
look
have
like.
enough followers.
He does. Yeah, he actually doesn't have access. I tried to invite him to do it, but
Yeah, so you that's not how you can't like pay off scientists to manipulate research. That's not something that's not
Why
how
can
it
you not? Is that like some law of the universe?
well, no, it's a thing.
works.
called
Law of the
peer review.
universe. Sorry.
Okay, what does peer review have to do with anything?
Because
Do you understand how much money they have?
If you do a bad study, and the methodology is shit, or like any number of other things, or the conclusions don't follow from the methodology and the process. Wow, goodness gracious, from the methodology as well as the predictions, right? If your results don't match with that, and you still try to lie about it, you're going to be called out by other people in the industry and in the field because bad papers make the field worse.
Okay, but do you understand how much money they have? Do you understand
How much
who is in
money
control of this?
Who has?
The large corporations. A lot of these people are Kabbalists that actually hate everybody.
What corporations?
But-
What corporations?
but-
I'm sorry.
But hold on, as Snitch was talking about earlier, we're talking mostly about like academic research here. We're not talking about corporate research.
And you don't think academic research is compromised?
How? Who would compromise it?
Academic research has been compromised
By who?
By
So your
Jews.
worldview, we can't use science at all. We just have to use quote unquote common sense.
Not in every regard, but in this specific
So
thing,
in what regard is
common
research
sense
okay to look at it?
should be
In
used
what-
over research.
But unfortunately that doesn't work because your common sense would show
Okay, if
that
they
raw
came
milk
out
is
with a
good for you,
paper that said the
despite that
sky
not
is
being
red,
true.
would you believe it?
No, because the sky isn't red.
Because your common sense would override that.
That's not how things
All right,
work,
so
you fucking dumbass.
whenever
No,
you
that's
eat
not how,
seed oil-
No, that's not how things work. You can't just look at a food and determine if it's good for you as you could by looking at the sky, because looking at the sky doesn't need a research paper, okay? But food, you can't look at it and determine the health effects of it. You need research to be done on said things, okay? Very different.
You can look at the effects of the food on your body and on people,
How do you know?
and you
Hold on.
can come
How do you know?
to
How do you know?
a
How do you
common
know it's
sense
that? How do
conclusion.
you know it's that specific food? How do you know it's not the fact that they got less sleep, they didn't work out, that they don't that they don't do cardio, that they have some sort of genetic disorder? How do you know that? How do you know it's not those other things? Please tell me.
Do you have a genetic disorder?
Zog, answer the question. If
I'm
you can
asking
just
about
look,
you.
if Zog, how do you know if food is bad for you? How do you know a certain food is bad for you by looking at it? If you can't determine what else they're eating, if you can't
No,
determine
it's
if they
not by
work out,
looking at it.
then how
It's
do you
by looking
determine
at the
that?
effects of the food.
What do you mean by the effects of the food?
So
So if I start
it's
drinking raw
going to
milk
be.
right now, how do we know it's the raw milk that's causing an effect and not the million other factors that affect somebody's health?
I don't think raw milk could help you unless you cut out all the other seed oils,
Okay, how do you
all the
know
other
seed
bullshit you
oils is
eat.
bad? Okay, how do you know seed oils are bad for you and not the million other factors that affect oneself?
Because whenever I personally, whenever I eat seed oils, I immediately feel like shit. Immediately.
What do you mean by feel like shit?
Lower energy.
Okay,
I can feel the bloating coming in.
okay,
I feel
great.
weaker.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry that you feel weak. Maybe you should work on that. But also, secondly, how do you know it's
No, I
not the
don't
fact
because
that?
I
How
don't
do
eat
you
seed
know?
oils.
How do you know it's not the fact that when you eat seed oils, you're likely eating fried food, you're likely eating high caloric food, you're likely eating processed food? How do you know it's not that's causing the issues?
Because I've cooked eggs and margarine before and I've had the same effect. I've cooked meat and
Okay,
seed oils,
but here's the thing:
just
when
seared it
I
on a
do
pan.
that, I don't feel weak and like a beta male. So how do we determine who's right in that scenario? How do we determine if it's good for you or not? If I
Well,
don't
I
feel
can
what
look
you
at you
feel,
and tell you don't feel
but
good,
I'm telling you, I feel okay afterwards. You can't deny my
but
human
I know it's a
experience.
lie because I can look at
But
you and tell.
no. But it's my human experience. You can't deny it.
I can because I can see you.
I have high energy afterwards. You can't deny my human experience. That's
I
what you
can see
guys always
you.
say. But I feel otherwise, so
What
it
are you
doesn't
on
matter.
caffeine? You get all high on caffeine. Is that why you feel so great?
No, I'm telling you, after I have a seed oil, I feel good.
Well, I can look at you and tell you don't, dude.
But I do. And I can look at you and say that you don't either. Same thing. See
That's why
how
you
it
got to
works?
have a beard. You got to have a beard to hide all your facial fat.
Got it. Okay. Anything else?
I mean, what's your body fat percentage? It looks like it's about 30.
I'm trying to gain weight
Why would you gain weight? That's the dumbest
because
shit. See, this brainwashing is
I don't
insane.
want because I want to gain muscle. I want to bulk up.
You have to be a troll.
You're gaining an
If you
unnatural
don't-
amount of
no,
weight. You understand how
you have to be a troll.
unhealthy you are?
Do you not understand?
You
that
are one of the most
bulking-
unhealthy people sitting up
Fuck.
here talking about
Do you
health.
not understand that bulking is literally a part of fitness and like
That is not a
huge
part of fitness.
weightlifting
Well,
and strength training?
It's an aspect
Bulking
of it,
up
yeah.
like he's doing, that is not healthy. That's not fitness.
How do you
It's
know what my
completely
health is?
unhealthy. He's only
Have you
doing
seen
it
my
so-
blood work?
'cause-
Have you seen my blood work?
Have you seen
You
my
can't-
blood work?
Well, then how do you know if I'm
Dude,
healthy
I
or
can
not?
tell
if
by
you
your
don't know my
voice
blood
as
work
well.
is? That doesn't determine somebody's health, unfortunately.
I can tell that you have low testosterone.
Actually,
you drink all the soy milk.
Actually, my testosterone is about 900 nanograms per deciliter. So no.
Oh, cool. You got a little paper. Awesome.
But
I
that's
can
how you
look at
measure
you in
testosterone.
practice and tell that it's not.
But my blood work says
I'm
otherwise.
looking at your physical appearance right now. I'm not an idiot.
That's not how you measure
you
testosterone.
Or
Like that's not how you
Who
measure
do
my
you work
testosterone.
for?
Wait, Zoc, so you're telling me we don't need blood work anymore? You can just look at somebody? So you're telling me that whole thing is a scam? Guys, we don't need blood work anymore. You can just look at somebody and determine their cholesterol and
Yeah, it is a
triglycerides.
scam.
That's
Because
it.
I know,
Guys, you can just
personally
look at
that are
people. You can just look at
some
people.
of the most unhealthy people I know. They go and get their blood work done, and the doctor says,
All right, I don't give a fuck about you anymore. Goodbye. Let's get to the next one. What's up, who?
That dude was fucking crazy.
I agree. do you disagree with anything in the background?
No, I don't. I just wanted to come up and say he was fucking stupid.
I agree with you. I am looking for ops though, man. So let me bring you back down. But I appreciate it, guys. I'm looking for opposition, please. I get it. That guy was dumb. I know. But yeah, my body fat percentage is probably not super low. If I were to guess, I haven't got it measured. I'm sure it's probably near 20-ish%. Probably between 15 and 20. But I don't really care to be super lean. I've gotten really lean before. It's just not really worth it. Like it affects my energy levels, it affects my mood, what I have to eat and how much or how little I have to eat to maintain a low body fat percentage. It's just not worth it. Like it's just not worth it to like look extra lean. So like 5 dudes at the gym will compliment me. Because that's all you ever get, by the way, guys. If you ever get really lean and jacked, you're just gonna get a bunch of dudes complimenting you. You're not gonna get the women that you want complimenting you. It's just gonna be dudes.
As I've gotten older, I care so much less about like having a six pack or like that sort of stuff. And now, like, I know that you actively work in fitness, so it's a little bit different. But for me, I go to the gym just because like it feels nice, right? It's like a decompression thing for me. It's like a
For
mental
sure.
health thing more than it is anything else. And so, yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's just I have certain fitness goals, but it's also for me a much looser because I'm not, you know, required to work towards anything or like putting myself up into some very silly body standard where I need to have 3% body fat so I love myself or something.
Yeah. It's no, I mean I think that's a really unreal. I don't want to say necessarily unrealistic, but it's a health standard that I think is very unhealthy to convince people that you have to have a shredded six pack in order to be healthy, and anything outside of that means you're not healthy. I think it just causes a lot. It causes a lot of eating disorders. It causes a lot of self-image disorders. And things like that, or at least is one of the contributing factors. And I just don't think that's the best information to be putting out there to give people that impression. I think it's fine if you want to have a six pack. I don't think there's any issue if you want to have that. But I think it's important to keep in mind that you can be healthy without having a shredded six pack. Your body fat percentage is associated with a greater longevity. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's certainly going to be an association with that. I'd agree. All right, guys, keep tapping and sharing. I did have a client at 3:30, but she's getting held up at work, so it's going to be at the top of the hour instead. So I got 30 minutes extra for you guys, all for you. I take walks, been amazing for my weight loss. That's terrific. I went from 289 to 170. Damn, over 6 years. That's really good. Yeah, as I always say, guys, I think walking is probably one of the most underrated forms of exercise or underrated things that you can do for your health. I think walking is incredibly good. I think almost anybody would notice, like there would be a noticeable difference in one's health if you start incorporating daily walks. If you don't do any walking right now. However, if you're someone who's already really active and you do daily walks, you probably won't notice as much of a change. But if you go from being sedentary to doing daily walks, I think you can notice a big difference. 340 to 180, that's a big change too. Congrats. Cardio incline at a steady pace burns calories. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, being on an incline burns a bit more calories. I think it's good to do.
I'm happy hoping to take a few long bike trips over like weekends and stuff like that. And that's always been like, that's always fun. Get some distance, go out in the country for a little bit.
Oh, I love biking. Biking's great. I much prefer that over like a jog. I hate jogging or running. I just hate it. But biking is so much more entertaining.
When I did a triathlon, I don't like the biking portion was definitely the most fun, and like that was just like, hey, how's everybody doing? Having conversations during the swim. I'm like, oh, I might actually die, and during the run, I'm like, I just don't want to be doing this anymore.
Yeah. And this is a good comment here. If you look at the dudes that are part of special ops, like SEALs, Delta Rangers, all of them have a significant amount of body fat or significant amount of fat from getting in shape. They are going for performance, not sexy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd use the word significant or if I'd use the term significant amount of fat, but they certainly have like more than like a bodybuilder or something like that. To your overall point, though, I do agree. Yes. But at some point, though, like if we're talking about body fat percentage, that has a much, much stronger correlation with one's health than body weight does or BMI does. So I want to make it very clear. Thank you, by the way, for harming. I want to make it very clear. Body fat percentage is actually a somewhat like strong indicator of one's health. For men, if you start going above 20%, there usually starts becoming a much bigger risk of getting different health issues associated with that. For women, it's going to be a little bit more. For women, we're probably talking like near 30-ish% if you start going over that. Thoughts on GLP-1? I'm on it. I think opinions on it are fun both ways. I think GLP-1s for people who need it are extremely beneficial. The only reason in which I would be against it is where like people use it as like a first resort type of thing, where they like never really tried to lose weight, and that's like the first thing they use to help lose weight. Yeah, I would have a problem there. But if somebody has dealt with weight issues for a long time and they've like legitimately tried different forms of things to help lose weight, yeah, I think it's actually really good. You're almost never going to find someone who's not going to lose weight on a GLP-1. I'm sure there are examples, but the data shows heavily when people are GLP-1s that their health does get much better. Now, obviously, you still need to work out, or you still should work out, rather. I don't want to say need, but you still should work out. I would recommend that you increase your protein and you incorporate strength training, because you are going to get muscle loss if you don't. I mean, if you're losing like 20 pounds in a month or something like that, you are for sure going to lose muscle mass. So yes, you should up your protein and you should incorporate strength training. But yeah, no, I really don't have an issue with people using GLP-1s. I really don't.
I think the only concern I have with it, or the only problem I have with it, is like causing a shortage from people with like who really do need it, like to people with diabetes,
sure.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And that is the only area where it's like I do think we need to ensure that people with a medical necessity get like first access to this medication, because we've seen it happen already in various areas where like people who like have prescription for GLP-1 because of diabetic reasons or stuff like that can't get access to it, because also, you know, people are using it as like a weight loss drug.
No, exactly. No. Let me get to this guest real quick. Bald, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I just need to know your age, please, before we move forward. It's for TikTok terms of service.
25.
Cool. What's up? What's on your mind?
So I'm reading the prompt and I kind of disagree. With most of it, actually. Seed oils,
Okay.
artificial sweeteners, soy aren't bad. Raw milk is.
Yeah, let's take it like one thing at a time. Which one do you want to talk about? Which one do you think you're most knowledgeable on? Raw milk, soy, artificial sweeteners, or soy?
I guess we could go on the seed oils.
Okay. So I assume you think they're bad. What health issues do you think they cause?
I know it's like causes inflammation, right?
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's inflammation?
Like when things in your body gets bigger, like they get inflamed, like they're swollen, right?
So when I get a hard on, is that inflammation?
Technically, but that's a good kind. I mean, it'd be good for
It's
you.
when things get bigger.
Yeah, it's when they get bigger and swollen.
Well, I'm gonna use that next time I go on a date with a doctor. I'm like, hey, you know what? My dick is inflamed. That's gonna go up real well.
Hold on, honey. I'll be there. Let me just get inflamed real quickly. All right, so
That'd be crazy.
all right, so what's do you have any like data or research to show that CETOs inherently cause inflammation, like outside of any other variable?
I mean, it's just like I don't really trust mystery lab dust number 47, right? I just don't trust it. Created by some guy named Greg in the 83. You know what I'm saying? So, but raw milk, that's like straight from the source. That's like the Cali Chat pipeline. So that's what built society.
All right, well, let's get to raw milk. But CETOs, I'm asking to show data that CETOs cause inflammation, not some other chemical we're not talking about.
Oh, my bad.
So, do you have some sort of data to show that seed oils cause inflammation?
Oh, like from the source?
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. Do you have whatever? Just anything to show proof of that?
I could go look around for actual like stronger source, I guess. But like let me see. I could Google it. I think you do. Yeah, I had some sources earlier. But like let me see.
The reason why I ask that is because seed oils traditionally are found in foods that are already unhealthy to some degree. Like they're found in a lot of processed foods, right? And like you're almost likely going to see an increase of inflammation from processed foods. The question is it the seed oils though, or is it the million other things that could be in processed foods? So that's why I'm looking to see if you have research to show that like seed oils specifically cause inflammation and not something else that's in fast food or processed food.
The correlation.
Right,
Or,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So I think for me, like you have a good point there, right? Um, like I don't know, you got me beat. I think you're much more informed than I am. I just thought that like it was alpha to eat like non-seed oils and eat good fats and that stuff.
All right. So you mentioned raw milk. You said raw milk comes from a natural source. Is that your reason for why you think it's good?
Yeah, it's like this. It's like straight from the Chad or the cow to Chad pipeline. Um, so like, it just seems like it's intuitively better.
All right. Well, if you're gonna troll, I'm just gonna move on. Straight from the Chad. You got his talking points messed up. Let me read this comment here. High omega-6 content and inflammation. I assume that's the title of a study, maybe. Critics argue that the high levels of linoleic acid found in seed oils cause chronic low-grade inflammation, which is linked to diseases such as obesity. Who else is milk into Chad? I don't know. What's up, Toxic? How you doing? I agree with you there. Hey, make sure you guys subscribe to me if you don't already on YouTube. I don't do this topic too often. Typically, I do more traditional political topics, politically related topics. But I do this topic here and there. So just letting you guys know, I generally do more politically related topics. Yeah, Corey. Make sure you guys do call in too. I'm going to put the phone number back in the tube comment section so you can call on in if you want. Callers give up immediately at the slightest questioning. At least that's better than trying to make up arguments. They do. I mean, that's already happened a couple times. Like, I'm just asking them like basic questions, and they seem to get really upset when I ask them basic questions. Like the guy when I said, "Is this a randomized controlled trial?" Like that really upset him for some reason. And at that point, I wasn't necessarily trying to get a gotcha out of him. Later on, I was, but not at that point. I was just truly wondering if it was a randomized controlled trial or not. And like, he just really didn't like the question. Yeah, Jerry, that's like the wildest thing when we hear that. Luckily, I don't hear that too often, but still. I think that guy maybe did to a small degree. Because when I eventually, after asking him 4 times, I think he gave an answer, but he also probably looked it up, so who knows. Quite some people died this year of raw milk worldwide. I think you typoed there or something. But yeah, guys, when it comes to raw milk, yes, as an absolute number, there aren't a whole lot of deaths. But again, as we know, a very small percent of people do drink raw milk, so you're not going to necessarily see a large amount of unalivings. I know, I guess I've been to... Oh, cool, Toxic. Appreciate that. A lot of these guys always ask loaded questions to get them ruffled. I mean, sure. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I don't do that. There are times I absolutely do that. But there's also times where I ask very genuine questions, at least in the beginning, before it gets all wild, the conversation. Hi from Israel. I don't want you here. Get out of here. Not allowed. Keep tapping and sharing, though, guys. Again, if you are watching on the tube, make sure you call on in and subscribe. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you hit the request button to come on up and give me a follow. What about raw chocolate milk straight from the chocolate cow? Well, that sounds good. Raw cheese, too?
You know what? Who else is willing to admit that when they were kids, they thought chocolate milk came from the brown cows? Because you know what? I know I was wrong now, but it was a convincing.
I saw a stat, and I
convincing
don't know.
lie.
I saw a stat. I don't even know if it's true because I've seen the stat in multiple different places that like a certain percent of like adult Americans still believe that. I forget what the percentage was, but
Nobody. We were educated. You know what, Bone Slice? I feel like as a child, right, you can have beliefs.
yes, as a child, you're allowed to believe stupid things. Yeah, it's very sound logic. I prefer chocolate cows over strawberry ones. Well, that sounds actually great. Strawberry milk actually sounds really good right now. After 20 years of being in the army, I've done enough walking. I hear you there. You probably have. But nothing wrong with keeping it up. Not to that extent, of course, if you don't want to, but you have proof? I would love to see that. What kind of cheese, though, is the question, is the moon. Swiss cheese, Parmesan, provolone.
That was actually one of the mission goals of the Artemis 2 mission. So we're gonna analyze the cheese they captured, and we're gonna figure that out now.
Government cheese. That really doesn't sound that good. It sounds very bland. If your body is not used to what you are consuming, of course you are going to get adverse reactions. What are you referring to specifically? Like the things in the background, or I don't know if that would be the case for different things. I mean, there's
I don't
plenty
even
of
think
foods.
that's actually necessarily true.
Yeah, I don't.
If your body's, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
If you've never had a strawberry before, right? It doesn't mean you're gonna like have adverse reactions the first time you eat a strawberry. It's a
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, Ambush, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Dougie?
Not much, man. What do you want to talk about in relation to the background?
Like,
Yeah, do you
like
disagree with something in the background?
what hormones would you recommend for a trans female trying to get pregnant?
Oh, you want to have a conversation about the background, or
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You're into health.
it's not about the background? Right? It's not about the background. Do you disagree with anything I have in the background?
Well, what would you advise a trans female?
Do you have
to
a
take
disagreement with something in the background? If you repeat the same thing, not only are you getting dropped, you're getting blocked.
Why do you get so mad, Dougie?
If you ask the same, hey guys, I'm going to come in and troll and say the dumbest thing and then gaslight you when you get annoyed by it. That's what I'm going to do, guys.
Dougie, why are you so upset?
So you're about to get blocked if you ask the same question again.
Oh no, what am I going to do if you block me, Doug?
Well, you're obsessed with me, so you're probably going to unallow yourself.
I just won't be able to.
You're the one who requested up. You came here.
I probably said a little too much right there, but whatever. He is utterly obsessed with me. He is in my lives very often. Like, imagine being that obsessed with trans people that you go into a live that has nothing to do with trans people and you come on up. This is probably the same guy, so I'm just gonna have my finger on the block button.
Hey, bro,
Hello?
open your mouth wide. I'm taking a big shit.
Alright, and then what?
Open your mouth.
And then what?
Open up, good boy. I'm taking a huge shit. Open
Well, I
your
don't think you
mouth.
can. I don't think you can do that through the screen.
Open your mouth. You know you want to. Open up.
Okay. You got anything else? You got anything else?
Oh, just here to mock and ridicule in general. Waste your time.
You're not
Mission
wasting my
accomplished.
time.
Good job.
How are you wasting my
Oh,
time?
yes, I am.
Well, you can't be wasting
Hey,
my
open
time
your
if I'm
mouth,
going to be
pussy.
live anyways. What's a mouth pussy?
I don't know. Are you fucking retarded?
Yeah, there it is. If you want to get kicked, just
Yes,
say you
you
want to
are.
get cooked. If you want to get kicked, just say you want to get cooked. Imagine that being the thing that you wanted to say when you came on up. Who are these who are these guests? I don't know, guys. I don't know why these people do this. I don't know what even motivates them to act like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. But Bevo Nation, you really want me to answer that question? If you guys want to talk about trans people or watch a live in which trans people are discussed, just go to a live stream in which that's being discussed. If you're that obsessed with them, go elsewhere. As I always say, you guys think about trans people more than trans people think about trans people. It's unhealthy. If anything is a mental disorder, it's you guys obsessing about trans people. As a lifelong Trump hater, the USA food standard needs to be changed. I might agree. It just depends on what specifically. What about it needs to be changed? What about the food standard?
Also, I'm not sure what hating Trump has to do with that point either. Like,
Well, what they were trying to say, they wanted to make the comment and not have me think that they were just somebody who is a Trump supporter and just believe those. Because typically, the way that they say that is it comes from a Trump supporter just complaining about like food standards. So I think they were trying to differentiate themselves from, I guess, a Trump supporter who would say that. I don't know. It depends on what you say, though. If you say like, "Oh, we have too many ingredients in our food," then yeah, that's sort of a dumb thing to say. But so it depends on what you're talking about. Michelle Obama's lunch programs hurt low-income schools. Like in which way? Am I a schnazi because I disagree with the trans fad? I don't think that is a qualification for being a schnazi, but I don't think it's a trans fad. I don't know what a fad is.
you're not a Nazi, you're just an idiot and like, not a very good person considering you outline a gender identity as a fad because you don't know anything about it.
Just look at the ingredients. Hold on, let's see. It's coming from UK. The food standards I feel are much better than the USA. I'll just look at the ingredients of McDonald's fries. Yeah, again, I mean, if we're talking about food standards, it's just it depends again on what you're referring to. I think you're just going to have to be a little more specific about it.
Yeah, and also, I'm sorry. I can't take criticism on food from beans on toast people. I just can't. I'm sorry. You guys are allowed to have your opinions, but use a spice. Show me your spice cabinet, or I will not take your opinions on food seriously.
Yeah, guys, I do
Sorry.
need a good mod or two for YouTube. I already have a couple. But I need more because I guess the chat is getting a little out there. So if somebody's watching on TikTok right now and you want to mod for me in the tube, I would really appreciate that. Do I have an actual job? What, as opposed to a fake job? What's the relevant difference between a fake job and a real job? It seems like with both of them, you still get some sort of compensation. So what does it matter? It looks like the only difference between a fake job and a real job is your approval. A quote unquote real job would get your approval and a fake job doesn't. I don't really care about that. Yeah, sure, Veronica, if you want a mod, that would be great. Do you already subscribe to me on the tube? If so, if you can, then just let me know in the comment section of the tube once you get there that it's you, and then I can mod you. Actually, what I'd like for you to do first, message me on TikTok to let me know what your YouTube name is, and then when you go to YouTube, just leave a comment in like caps, and I'll mod you, please. A real job makes money, and a fake job makes nothing. That's funny.
If that's the only qualifying factor, then if he makes money off of this, wouldn't that by definition be a real job?
Yeah, that person was a friendly, I think, making fun of that other person.
Ah, gotcha.
That makes something. Yeah, no, they just constantly like to say that, oh, this is a fake job. No, Janelle, I need more mods, like a lot more mods on YouTube. I have like 20 on TikTok and I have like 3 on YouTube, so it's really imbalanced. All right, let's post the phone number in the tube again so you guys can call on in if you want. It's not the ingredients in the food, it's the chemicals, guys. It's the chemicals. It's always the chemicals. Hey guys, stop drinking H2O. It's a chemical. We can't have chemicals. Stop drinking H2O.
Finally, somebody said the truth.
You dozed off watching Matt. There you go. Oh, all right, Veronica. Oh, I see. Well, Veronica, I can only assume this is you because it's the same profile picture. I highly doubt a troll managed to get your profile picture that quickly. That's the only reason why I asked. It's just so I can verify that the person in YouTube is actually the person who they say it is. So I'll mod you in just 2 seconds. Hold on. Okay, yeah, you're good to go. 1 second. Add as a moderator. Managing moderator. All right, you are good to go, Veronica. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. They give students less food. I don't understand how you don't get this. Knight, I was asking you a very simple and innocent question. I don't know why you're getting so angry. Like, it was the most innocent question and asking you, how so? I just wanted to hear your viewpoint. There's no reason to get that angry. And if that's the case, I would like to see that. If there's some sort of data on that, I would like to see if that's the case. You've been explaining to other. Why you don't revolve around the live, so I don't just watch you because you think the live revolves around you. Like, there's other things I'm doing, other people I'm speaking to. So, how picky am I with the comments, Veronica? Not really. I don't know. I'm only picky enough to the point in which it could get a live taken down or something. Other than that, I just really don't care that much. They can say stupid stuff if they want. But typically, it's not the comments that really affect the live. It's the people up on the live. So, not really, Veronica. I mean, if someone starts threatening somebody else, yeah, obviously, in that case, You can block them if they're threatening like unaliving or you know things like that. Then you can. Other than that, you can really just mute if they're spamming, if they're saying stupid things or whatever. You can mute for a small period of time. If they come back, do it again. Mute them for longer. It could be, yeah. I don't know. Just use your own discretion. But yeah, be more on the lax side of things. TikTok, you got to be more strict, but YouTube, it's just whatever. Let them be. I'm open to what you got to say. What changed that caused heart attacks to increase so much? I would have to look at the data on heart attacks in the U.S. over a period of time. Are you talking about heart disease, or are you just saying heart attacks? Heart attacks. I don't know the data on heart attacks specifically. I would have to look. Well, heart attacks have dropped by 90% since 1970 to 2022. Or heart attack mortality, I'm sorry. There's a big difference between that. Although, let's look at heart attacks, because that's going to be different. That's going to take a little more to look into, I think. I don't know. I got to look into it more over specifically heart attacks and not heart attack unalivings. Yeah, that's actually a good question. But ultimately, that's why we care about not getting heart attacks, is because people don't want to unalive. So regardless, I would say if the heart attack unalivings have dropped by that much, then it's probably not an issue in the context that you're referring to. Yeah, Phoebe, that would be great. And again, as you guys know, mods, you don't have to be on every live or even for the entirety of the live. Come and go as you please. That's why I'm going to have enough mods, so it won't really matter. But so don't feel like you need to watch all of them or be on all of them. I'm not saying heart attack deaths, just to be clear, just heart attacks increasing introduction. Well, no. I knew you probably weren't saying that. I would have to look more into the data. It's going to take too long now while I'm live to look into the data of heart attacks specifically. But again, if at the end of the day the unalivings from heart attacks have dropped as a percent, I'm not quite sure what the issue would be, considering that's still a beneficial thing at dropping. But I think you would have to show that it's from seed oils. You can't just pick out two variables that occurred and say this one caused the other. Like, there's a million things that also have occurred within the last several decades. If for example, seed oils have also increased at that time. Like, you can correlate it with anything if you really wanted to. But there's no evidence to show that seed oils in of itself cause higher rates of heart disease or heart attacks or anything like that. So it wouldn't really make much sense that it caused this rise of heart attacks that you're referring to. Toxic. I don't mind what you say, Toxic. You can dress it up nicer if you want, but I get it. I think I'm gonna start up my YouTube again. Oh, that's good, Ronica. That's good. Hey, JC, how you doing? Again, guys, if you want to come on up, hit the request button on TikTok. If you're watching on the tube, you can call in. And I'll be live later on, by the way, guys, or at least I should be. That's the goal. For instance, the same GMO soy that they created to substitute the plastic that is for your wiring in your home of like what? Like Romex is also the same GMO soy that it's like. All right, let me read this again without me. All right. For instance, the same GMO soy that they created to substitute the plastic that is for your wiring in your home of like Romex, I don't know what that is also the same GMO soy that is carcinogenic that they put in your food. Without even knowing much about that, I can guarantee that's likely not true. It just sounds like a fear-mongering statement. But I think in order to prove that, you would have to show that it's the same and that it's of the same dose also. But I would have a hard time believing that. Why do you want me to be more specific on a platform that is 132 character limit? Because without you being specific, we're not going to get the proper context to answer the question correctly. Because that's why. Because if you're not specific, then you're not going to get the question that you want answered. Polyunsaturated fats cause inflammation as well. Okay, you are going to have to show evidence of that, and don't cite your favorite carnivore influencer, please. Polyunsaturated fats do not cause inflammation. You're about to refer to omega-6 or linoleic acid, which is not true. It actually does the opposite. It actually decreases inflammation. But you're welcome to show opposing research if you want. All right, what's this night person saying? Did you just point to a wiki? The reason why she laughed at you is because you referred to Wikipedia. That's why she laughed at you, just in case you didn't know. You referred to Wikipedia as your source. And listen, I actually don't generally have a problem with Wikipedia if it's for basic stuff. But when it comes to like something like this, I think you're probably gonna have to go beyond Wikipedia. Or what you can do, because Wikipedia does cite their sources, you could just go to the source on which Wikipedia is citing, and then you can go from there. But like Wikipedia itself wouldn't be the primary source; it would be a secondary source. But no, I don't have a problem with somebody using Wikipedia for basic stuff. Or ChatGPT, or any AI thing for basic stuff. It's just when we're getting into more nuanced stuff, yeah, it's not going to be the best thing to use. But if you're looking for a basic answer for something, I don't see why that would be a problem. Like if you wanted to know the 3 branches of government, which I think you should already know to begin with, yeah, I think asking ChatGPT, you'll get the right answer. I think looking at Wikipedia, you'll get the right answer. Oh, what's up, Phoebe? I'll mod you. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Give me a second. All right, cool. We're good to go. Yes, Wikipedia is a starting point if you want. Stop using ChatGPT. I mean, I think whether we want people to use it or not, I think it's just going to go up in usage anyways. Like whether you want it to or not, I think that's just going to happen. I think it's inevitable that the use of like AI bots like ChatGPT and things like that it's just going to go up. I mean, we're only in the infant stages of it, so. Listen, I use ChatGPT for some things. I think it could be extremely useful for some things. My dad actually uses not ChatGPT. He uses it differently. He's a psychiatrist, though. He uses it actually to help him write different research papers and things like that. Because he said it cuts down his time in writing research papers from like dozens of hours to like a couple hours. So like, you know, to help like formulate. By the way, I want to make it very clear: he's not using the information it gives him. He's using it to help format and formulate the research papers. So I want to make that very clear. He's not relying on it for the answers to things. Yeah, I mean, as far as its effects on the environment, again, I understand this is going to come off as an excuse, but I just think it's going to be used anyways. I think the best bet is just for it to hopefully change over time so it has less of an effect on the environment. But to expect for it to just go away it's just not going to happen. I mean, that's like expecting like when cars first came out to just go away because it was harmful in some sense to the environment. It's just the way that human evolution in some sense has taken us. Yeah, throw guardrails on it, throw different like limitations and different standards and things upon it for sure. But like, it's just not going to get eliminated. It's just not going to happen. You using it only worsens destruction. Well, I mean, listen, let's talk about this realistically. Okay, let's say I decide to stop using it. You decide to stop using it. What's going to happen? I'm not trying to be mean to you guys, but like we can't be naive and just expecting it just to go away. It's not going to happen. Like the cat's already out of the bag. It's been out of the bag for a long fucking time. Like it will not go away. I don't. And again, I'm not trying to be mean by saying this, but like no matter how much you beg and plead and not use it yourself or tell her, it's just not going to go away. By the way, guys, I do need to leave in like 6, 7, 8 minutes. Just FYI. I must stay here. I don't know. What are your guys's? What's everybody else's opinions when it comes to like use of AI and things like that? I'm curious. But Apollo, that's not addressing what I just said, though, Apollo. Yeah, Corey, what are your opinions? I'm curious.
I hate AI. I genuinely, I think it is a nearly. So I think it has very specific uses, and like
Yeah.
I think that there are I think there are values to it. I think it's been overhyped by every single CEO in order to raise share prices. And so it's causing a lot of damage because people are just doing this irresponsibly and poorly thought out manners that will screw a lot of people over in the long run. So I think it's like it needs to be heavily regulated.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
I agree with that.
until we do that, it's just like again, it's terrible for the environment, terrible for local.
I do agree.
communities.
I don't disagree with that. And I want to make it very clear, guys. I'm not like it's not like I go out of my way to use it all the time. I use it like relatively seldomly. I have the ChatGPT app. I don't pay for the upgraded version, and I use that maybe like twice a week for a few questions. So, and it's not like I use it tons, but
Yeah, and like we all Google things, and the Google AI is always the first thing up there, right? It's not like
well, exactly.
you can't.
Yeah.
It's not something we can ever fully avoid. It's just people need to be smart, and also, I'm sorry, you don't need to watch Fruit Love Island. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You guys don't need to entertain that sort of stuff.
Somebody did say something though in the comments. It hinders. I think they said hinders critical thinking. I 100% agree with that. Yes, I think that's certainly going to get worse. It's already pretty bad critical thinking, but it's only going to get worse, right? Because we obviously didn't have that growing up. We couldn't just rely on it. Heck, we didn't even have Google for a small portion of time when I was growing up, or for my first little over 10 years of growing up. Google didn't. I don't know when Google came out, but like we didn't have anything like that, right? So I agree. It certainly hinders that. If you need one to write your grocery list, that's a huge problem. Maybe. Well,
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on, though. And I'm not saying any of you guys are being ableist purposely by any means, but I think though for people who do have certain, I don't know how to phrase it, mental health issues, and certain limitations when it comes to that could be a huge benefit though for them. Like for example, let's say someone's ADHD is like really, really bad, like severe, and maybe using AI helps them create a grocery list where they otherwise just couldn't focus enough to, like, I don't know, create one on their own or something like that. Like again, there's certain like use cases for these things, And I don't want to say like I'm not advocating for AI, guys. I'm just saying there are benefits in which people wouldn't otherwise be able to do certain things or to the same degree. That's a great example, though. It's not a source of information. It doesn't claim to be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, guys, somehow the soy conversation got diverted. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But I am sure a lot of people said the same thing when the internet first came out. Because I would imagine the internet is probably a net positive for the environment. I would imagine some of those things were said back then, too. So wait, is Chris going on actually hard to... Yeah, no, then that's why we're saying there should be regulations on it. Yeah, it shouldn't just be like an open free-for-all with AI. There absolutely should be regulations on it, 100%. Toxic. That's funny. But we already know how bad it... Yeah, but at the time, I'm saying, yes, now we do, but at the time, I would imagine, again, those same things were said. Since the internet was originally invented. All right, guys, I really need to wrap this up. I got to leave for the gym here in a couple. But like I said, I would like to go live later on. I have a couple clients I need to work out. So afterwards, I should be good to go. But I'll let you guys know in Discord. I'll let you guys know on the bulletin board. If you want to join Discord, the link to that is in my bio of TikTok. Bulletin board is on TikTok. Just click my profile to join it. If you guys enjoyed live, click the red follow button. Subscribe on YouTube. Corey, anything you wanted to say before I drop?
Nah, have a great day. Hope your workout's going well. Or your clients
All right.
as well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take care, okay? All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I know it's a little bit of a slower live, but I think we had good discussions here. It was good. All right, we can discuss more AI stuff later, guys. Looks like we have slight disagreements. That's okay. And I'm certainly open to change my mind on things, by the way. I'm not like the most knowledgeable person when it comes to AI, so certainly I'm welcome to change my mind on things. But anyways, I will drop. I will hopefully see you guys later. If not, definitely tomorrow, okay? Debate AI again. I think it's a good one. I think we can do a whole topic on that, yeah.